We often focus on foreigner Filipina relationships, almost assuming everyone in such relationships are looking for love and romance. Whilst many are, there are certainly plenty who will not care so much for love and romance, but more so around meeting their own needs in order to make their life more comfortable. Plenty of people may not have the need to be in a loving relationship, and I refer to men and Filipinas here. But for such couples, what are the problems with being in this type of relationship, and could it quickly spell the end of that relationship? To find out more, then be sure to stay with me here. Just quickly, if you're looking to date a Filipina and don't know where to start, then why not check out my affiliate link in the pinned comment and description to the Philippines' #1 dating site, where it's free to create an account and view tens of thousands of beautiful Filipina profiles right now. We're all made up differently, and our life's experiences has a big impact on who we are and what we want out of life. We all have our own unique value systems and what are important things to have in our life. So who's to say if one person's wants and needs are any less important or valued than the next person? Entering into a relationship with someone for other reasons rather than love is far more common than one may think or believes is happening. On a worldwide scale, this is massive. And in a foreigner Filipina relationship, it's no different. And simply, there are common driving factors for the many foreign guys and Filipinas alike who enter into such loveless relationships. This is what I call a mutually beneficial type of relationship. But what could a couple possibly get from this, I hear you ask? And how could such a relationship possibly last? Both are very good questions which I will try and answer for you in this video. As I said earlier, everyone is made up differently, and we all have different needs and wants based upon our life's experiences. Many foreigner Filipina relationships typically have larger age gaps, and it's not uncommon to see age gaps of 30 plus years. Now, as the man is most likely 60 plus years of age, it could be very likely that he's been married before and possibly widowed, or more commonly, divorced. He may have lost all hope and faith in loving relationships, but doesn't want to be alone for the rest of his life. So essentially, he's now looking for companionship with someone who can help fulfill his needs along the way. Many guys of his generation may have been well looked after by his ex, where she cooked, cleaned, etc. for him, and doing this for himself may not be, let's just say, his forte. He may see many advantages of entering into a relationship with a woman who can keep the house nice and tidy, do the things that his ex had previously done around cooking his meals and looking after him in general, and of course, meeting his physical needs that most of us have. You see, a man like this has no interest whatsoever in a loving relationship. But where will he find a woman who would be in a relationship with him that has no basis of love? Certainly, women like this in many foreign countries would not be interested at all. So he starts to consider countries like the Philippines, where it's well known that some Filipinas will enter into relationships with much older foreign men. But why would a beautiful young Filipina want to be with a much older man, especially when there's no love involved? And again, I say because it's mutually beneficial to such a woman. Now back to one's life's experiences. For her, life may have been a struggle in the Philippines where perhaps even she may have lived in poverty. Or perhaps she just wants to live in a new country and experience all that country has to offer. Or maybe she herself has become disillusioned by the men in the Philippines and has lost all faith in a loving relationship existing. She may have reached the point where love and romance are not for her and can stay in the storybooks. And the Filipina now has her goals that she wishes to achieve and knows very well that many older foreign guys are looking for a woman just like her. Now let's be real here. Both people at some level will know the score. Whether they come out and admit it to each other, what their real intentions are around this relationship or not, who knows? But as I say, deep down, each will know the score and be happy to proceed with such a relationship. The ones that are not so upfront with each other will continue to play a game where they pretend to be into one another so they both get what they want. Then there are the ones who are completely honest with each other and enter into what I call a business type of relationship. It all sounds very impersonal, and perhaps it is. But the real question is such a relationship sustainable for the long term? But one must know that there are many types of relationships, and a relationship doesn't always have to be about love. It's what people make of it and how they treat each other in that relationship. Make no mistake, there can be mutual respect without love. People can like each other without being in love with them, and a couple who spends time together can have a fondness for each other without falling madly in love. We don't want to overthink such relationships and say they can't possibly work just because it doesn't sit within what we believe or within our own framework. Everyone is different, and if two people have the same commitment to the business relationship, then it can very well succeed as long as both are honest with each other. I believe the ones I mentioned earlier around pretending to be into one another, well, they're only fooling themselves, and sooner or later that will become a very hard charade to keep up. But the ones that were honest about their intentions from the start, I believe have a chance of going the distance, and in fact, I've seen it for myself. Simply because each person is providing something of value to the other person in an open and honest way. They learn to live together and respect one another without expecting or receiving love. Both people have come to terms that they don't need to be in a loving relationship to be happy. They know that happiness comes from within, and making one's life more comfortable perhaps will bring about happiness to that person. From the man's point of view, he's well looked after and has no emotional ties. Most probably, if they married, he would have a prenuptial agreement to protect his assets, which she'll gladly sign and agree to. And she wants nothing more from him than for him to treat her with respect and kindness, and for her to have a life she never could have imagined. She's very happy to forgo love, as she may think back constantly to the years when life for her was very hard, and she appreciates the man for these new opportunities in her life. Whilst this type of relationship may not be for you or me, it certainly has its place amongst Foreigner Filipina relationships, and if done openly and honestly, it can provide each with happiness for a lifetime. Be sure to let me know in the comments what you believe the most important factors are in creating a long-term, successful relationship between a foreign man and a Filipina. For more free information and tips around creating a magical relationship with a Filipina, be sure to check out the playlist on screen now. And be very sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.